Do you know that your hands have the power to work out miracles? Welcome to this discussion. My name is Karita Mbagara, the Deputy Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries. I want us to read from the book of Matthew, chapter 14, from verse 15. The Bible says, "As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, 'This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food.' Jesus replied, 'They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat.' 'We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish,' they answered. 'Bring them here to me,' he said, and he directed the people to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 baskets full of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate was about 5,000 men, besides women and children." Jesus fed 5,000 families, because the men may have been representing families. So the number here is quite conservative. But do you know that the miracle didn't take place in the hands of Jesus? It is that he received the 5 loaves and the 2 fish from the disciples, and he gave thanks to God and then gave them to the disciples. And I think as the disciples were passing on the bread to the people, that's where the multiplication was taking place. I want you to notice that when we give anything to the Lord, even what is insufficient, like the loaves and the fish were insufficient for the number of people that had come for the meeting, and the Lord blesses it, it is multiplied when it comes back to us. Whatever it is that you have, that you feel that it is not enough for the circumstances or the situations that you are facing, I want you to hand it over to the Lord. And his utterance of blessing and thanksgiving to God will cause a miracle to take place, and the miracle will take place in your hands. Why? We have a God of increase. We have a God of multiplication. We have a God who loves abundance, so that it was not just enough, it was not equal to the needs of the people. There were remains or leftovers, 12 baskets, so that each of the disciple could take a basket home of what remained. And such is the God that you and I worship. If you're a believer, he's inviting you to trust him, to hand over. When it is in our hands, it is insufficient. When it is in our hands, it is little. But once he takes it and he gives thanks to God for what you have given, then he will multiply it and it will become more than enough. Let me give this in a practical way. When you receive your salary, do you give your portion to God? Of course, God asks for 10%, what we call the tithe. And once you give that, you ask the Lord, "Please, Lord, bless what remains." Because the truth be told, no matter how much you earn, even if you took it, all of it, it is never enough. But when we give what belongs to God and we trust him to do the rest, he will bless us with the little that remains. He will ensure that it goes farther than we have, planned for. And God will make sure that it supplies to your need, and there is more than enough so that you bless others. I believe those disciples took the baskets each home to go and testify about what God had done that particular day. And that's what will happen in your life. When you hand over to God, He will take it, He will multiply it, and you will have enough even to share with others as evidence of God's provision. And He wants to provide for you. May the Lord bless you as you entrust all that you have, all your resources, whether it is your skills or abilities or your knowledge or your material possessions. When you hand it over to the Lord, He will cause you to achieve much, much more. God bless you. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And if this is a blessing to you, share it with your friends so that they can also be blessed. Have a great time.